What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Marketing Teardown with Andrew and Travis. I'm your host, Andrew.
And I'm Travis.
And today we're going to go through a company that the two of us have never heard of before. It's a company called Carbon 3D. So I'm going to tell you a bit about the company, but first we'll go through the rules of the game. I've got a timer pulled up with 30 minutes on the clock. That's our time limit to building a marketing strategy from scratch. I've got this website of this company pulled up, which is what we're going to poke through to figure out a little bit more about them. And I have a blank Google Doc that we're both in that we're going to build a marketing strategy in. Those are the rules, and we're going to get into it. You ready?
Let's do this.
All right. So a little bit about this company before we turn into things. So this is a 3D printing company. They build hardware and software that they're end-to-end, highly scalable 3D printing for manufacturing processes. Really massive companies use them, like Adidas, you can see on their homepage, featured very prominently. Ford uses them as well. And while I was poking through the site a little bit, I did notice a handful of smaller companies, medical device companies, companies that are, not traditionally consumer-facing, but have to produce large volumes of things made out of plastics and carbon and silicone and things like that you can actually use 3D printing for. So that's who we're dealing with. Lastly, as for who they're going after, it looks to me like the persona that they're selling on, which is kind of, I think, where we can start this teardown, is engineering managers and directors and above, generally technical people who are in management or C-suite levels roles. Directors of R&D featured prominently in their case studies, and a few kind of biz dev and partnership C-suite roles all the way up to the board level. But I'm not sure if that's just kind of who got on the press release or who they're actually selling to. So, but in general, they're very technical companies. So the people they're selling to are technical as well.
Cool. So the first thing I see right off the bat is they have almost
hold on. Let me start the clock. We're gonna jump into things.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go. What do you got for me?
Okay, so the first thing I see right off the bat, they're really technical companies selling to people with very technical backgrounds. But the one thing that I did see right off the bat, they do not have lead capture anywhere. If you scroll through their entire site, it's impossible to kind of acquire knowledge about this further, even where to find them. It's really difficult. Like any sort of outreach, and with SimilarWeb, you can see they've got about 300,000 monthly website visitors. And so that's absolutely insane.
Which is crazy, by the way. I'm guessing this is when they got their funding, because they doubled their website traffic, probably through advertising in a matter of a month, a month.
Yeah, which to me is pretty insane. Really, even if you had someone, even not necessarily like a super technical sales role, but somebody who had even like 30 minutes a week to chill on the website and do actual outreach with people on the site saying, hey, do you have any technical questions? What's your role? And just literally strike up conversation with people, not in an automated way at all, but just to kind of test the waters and see who's on your website, what kind of conversations you could start. I think that would absolutely be effective. So that's pretty insane. What I see this product as something that would really kill it at trade shows. Like you said, you have a really, really sexy product working with really, really big brands. And it's something that you can physically see in person that kind of has like a wow effect. So one way to like increase lead capture on this website and actually turning it into hey, we're going to be doing massive enterprise deals because we're literally in manufacturing, but we want to have like a really high touch point experience. Is you could give out VIP tickets to trade shows through a portal, lead capture, something like that, saying, hey, are you going to whatever the CES of additive manufacturing is, and give out like VIP tickets, whatever the actual value is. Because that's probably where they're doing a lot of these deals, is a lot of really, really big inside sales. That's probably where their mind is right now, is, hey, we're just doing mostly inside sales with people in the industry that we've worked with before, leveraging those relationships. So if they want to still stay on the side of, we want to do really high touch point sales with more like inside and relationship building, that's a way to do it without going full force. Let's try to get as many emails as we can and try to create some crazy marketing funnel when they're probably just trying to dip their toes in the water.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree. I love what you're getting at with the event marketing. I think that's huge. And I'm guessing right now, judging by the way that their website's set up, they're engineering first and their sales first. I'm guessing they do a lot of conferences and event marketing right now. They have the logos to prove it, and they can sponsor conferences like it's nothing with their funds that they've raised. So I imagine that's a big area that's probably working for them right now and that they're going to want to keep investing in. I want to pull back to the calls to action on the website that you first mentioned, because that was the first thing I recognized as soon as I saw their site. It immediately jumped out at me is that they do have a sort of call to action, which is contact us, but contact us drives to this very kind of generic-ish page. They've also got a weekly newsletter sign up in the side. They've got downloads. It's a very busy page. There's a lot going on. They have so many form fields, and there's just so much going on this generic contact us. And if you look at their homepage, like what the hell is this? Stop prototyping, start producing. There's no call to action. Do I need to learn more? What? It's really about learning more about this case study on Adidas, which it's a powerful case study, I'm sure, but that's not necessarily what everybody's going to want to be looking for. So I don't know if this is the right call to action. It's also we don't have a button. We've got this little hidden purple link, kind of blends in. And if we scroll down, I'm not seeing very much pricing. This very hidden contact us down here. If I want pricing, they're kind of choosing that as the gateway that they're going to get people to inquire, to ask for more. But that's not the best. It's not the best experience. It's it's clearly sales first, right? It's sales focused, but they're not doing anything on the materials. And I think that's a big miss. The way that they're not orienting people towards lead capture and call to action. I'd also want to dig into, one thing that I think they could do is use chat on their website, right? Yep. Chat's all the rage right now. Something like Drift or Intercom or HubSpot, any kind of chat feature. They're getting 200,000 people a month, 300,000 people a month visiting their site right now. All they could do is have a little thing here and have some sort of basic bot that pops up and says, hey, are you interested in learning more? Like, who are you? Like, who the hell are you? Like, let's get the conversation going. And right now it's not happening. They're going to come, they're going to read a bunch of shit, and they're going to bounce, knowing that the team is going to talk to them, even though they probably have 100 salespeople on staff.
One of the big pushbacks I see on chat a lot when bringing it to a site with a lot of traffic is a lot of times companies will say, holy shit, we have 300,000 people visiting our site a month. That's absolutely insane. There's no way we can handle that sort of traffic with a bot. Drift has this really, really good Clearbit Connect integration to where you could have 3 different reps that are talking to people, probably BDRs or SDRs that are on site. You could have one for small business persona, one for medium, and then one for like large, massive enterprise where you're looking for your Nikes, and then you can divvy those 3 funnels of traffic to those specialized roles. Yeah, especially because when you look on this page, you can't exactly tell which case studies I should be looking for. Which I totally understand. They're in a somewhat new zone with additive manufacturing, and there's probably saying, hey, we're not really worried about product market fit right now. We're trying to cast as wide a net as possible, and as we learn where we want our funnels to go, then we'll start to adapt, and then we'll start running campaigns to those specific people. And so that as far as paid spend, I would probably do a couple of campaigns, one to smaller, medium, and then massive enterprise businesses, and see what resonates most, and then possibly have something that filters in on the website where okay, I'm a smaller manufacturer. I should be looking here. Okay, I'm a Nike, Adidas, somebody who has to go through a really, really long sales cycle. I should be looking here because upon first glance, you're like, okay, this is awesome. There's so much cool stuff on this website, but I'm not exactly sure where I'm supposed to be going.
Yeah. And I think I'm gonna zero down, put a name on that thing you just said, which is landing pages for different personas. It's basic stuff when you're going to be driving, and look at what they have, right? They have a lot of different applications. They have different products, right? They have these different printers. They have part washers. They have materials that they're upselling. That's not going to be all for the same person. And maybe, especially on the material upsells, maybe that's somebody when they've already got the contract, they still want to be driving those, those ads towards someone who's in charge of purchasing and budgeting at these large companies. So yeah, I think landing pages for different personas are key here. And I'm not seeing that on the website at all. It's very product engineering focused, which is great because their product is amazing. They got to let it shine, but They're losing out on that one. I want to add in also one thing you just mentioned on advertising, LinkedIn ads. You say it right now, it's core channel. They're B2B in a traditional kind of manufacturing market. LinkedIn ads are a channel for them, and I'll add outbound email into that as well. Anytime you've got B2B and you've got LinkedIn ads, you've got an outbound email strategy in there, for sure. So that's a big one. Content marketing, for sure. And with content marketing comes Google Ads. I imagine there's a lot of interest in the particular materials they're working with, in the 3D printing technology and industry trends, things like that. They're going to hit that with content marketing. And there are going to be a few bottom of the funnel keywords that they can close into a sale directly with Google Ads. For a company their size, I imagine they're probably already running some Google Ads, maybe some LinkedIn ads as well. The question is, are they doing all they can there? And, I don't know. If they don't have their personas drilled down, then they're going to be kneecapped on that one. But those are two areas, LinkedIn ads and Google ads, I definitely want to dig into. I'm going to jump over to the stuff that you're adding in a second. But lastly, I'll touch on content marketing here. There's going to be a lot of interest in what they're doing, right? 3D printing is a big space. There's a lot of keyword volume. Without even running the research, I can tell you right now, there's a lot of keyword volume around 3D printing in the commercial space. So, right, we're going to want to segment down to, we don't want someone looking for, hobby 3D printers, cheap 3D printers. That's never going to be their keyword focus, but there are going to be commercial 3D printers, 3D printers for lean methodology, for Six Sigma. I'm just throwing out buzzwords about manufacturing that I sort of heard in the past. but you know what I mean? Like, that's out there, and they can target them, and I'm very sure the content marketing is the core focus.
Yep. So in outbound emails, since I think trade shows are such an important part of what their strategy should be, which is kind of, trade shows are a weird beast where you have to have sales really aligned with what you guys are doing because you want to have those face-to-face interactions. And so supporting a sales team, especially heavy on the enterprise side, and doing a lot of outbound emails using some scraping techniques to get to the right people at the right time at the right trade shows, I think is really important. And then making sure that your messaging is solely focused on what they're showing and what they're trying to find at a trade show rather than sending out a pitch. It's really important to even start a conversation of like, hey, let's just go to this trade show, hang out, have fun together rather than going directly for a pitch. I see that all the time. It's insane. Hey, I noticed you're going to the trade show about you. Here's the shit I want to sell you. It is such a turnoff. And it's hilarious because literally everybody does it. And doing that outbound email, obviously title specific, just trying to get people on a call. But for PR, I think they could have a really, really cool PR strategy, especially with predominantly tech channels that are writing mostly about software and larger tech companies. And what they could do is they could leverage their current case studies and make the PR and the case studies all about the clients that are using their technology. Don't make it about them, and just pepper in the technology. That way they can start getting a ton of backlinks to their technology while also talking about their clients and not really beating these channels to death. Because essentially with your PR strategy, what you can do is you pitch it to, say, a TechCrunch, and you're saying, hey, this is super crazy. Adidas is using these 3D printed shoes, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, that's awesome. It sparks their interest. They write about that.
Yeah.
You already know that's something they're interested in, is writing about 3D printing. That way you come back to that person writing that article and say, hey, I noticed that you wrote about this. I've got another cool line for you to write about. And then you give them a pitch about, hey, we're able to do mass 3D printing for not only Adidas and their interesting thing, but these dental implants that fit custom from ages 5 to 10. Stuff like that. That way it'll start compounding on itself, and that way you're not beating a dead horse when you're talking to the same person writing articles previously saying, hey, I know you wrote something about my company 6 months ago. Do you want to write something about my company now? They'll always say no.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's going to drive. And then you'll get recent updates, product plugs, whatever the hell you want. That's your backlink. You're totally right, spot on. And I actually jumped over to their case studies section of their website because they have tons of really amazing case studies. I mean, Adidas, they've got such big names here. They've got Adidas, and it's a little bit about how you use them. They've got this dental company, Wilson Tool International. I'm pretty sure that's quite a large company. They've got this other company, Adaptive. NXT. I know I saw Ford in here when I was poking around earlier. They've got this electric bus maker, Vitamix. They have insane stories. This is the content that's going to win. This is your PR strategy. This is your social media strategy. And by the way, they have a lot of followers on social media right now, LinkedIn especially, and surprisingly on YouTube, which I think is an area that they could dig a lot deeper into.
Andrew, will you go to their news page real quick on their website while that's loading up?
News.
Top right. Yep. Their company name is in every single one of these headlines. All they do in their PR is talk about them, and I think that's almost exactly the opposite of what they should be doing.
Yep, because you know what it is? It's them saying, we have a case study, go read it. It's not them saying, Ford did cool shit, go read about that. Or
likely this has probably been
doing.
Yeah, and likely this has been an idea before, but when somebody in upper management sees it, they're saying, wait, we're not even in the title of this press release, but we're spending so much money for people to reach out to the proper press contacts.
Yeah.
It seems like a counterintuitive strategy, but it's what literally everyone else is doing, and if you do that, you're not going to get an advantage.
Yeah, you're totally right. That's spot on. And they're getting pickup, and I'm sure a lot of this is driving brand awareness, and you know, people are seeing what they're doing. It's just that is it going to be as effective as really amazing customer stories, and that's the focus? No, it's not going to be as effective.
Yep.
And I'm going to check our time real quick. All right, we got about 15 minutes left, just to keep an eye on the clock. Pulling over to their social. They have 15,000 followers on LinkedIn, 15,675. They've got a strong LinkedIn following. They've got 144 likes on this last post, 33 likes on this post, 80 likes on this post. They've got a good organic LinkedIn going. I mean, honestly, if they just create really, really good content, this stuff is going to get shared. And they're already getting some of that with what they have. If they took it to the next level, it'd be even better. And their LinkedIn would grow even faster, which is a core channel for them, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
YouTube as well. Interestingly, they have 6,400 subscribers. YouTube, you don't see that too often from B2B manufacturing, at a smaller level that can't spend $1 billion on marketing. And their videos, I watched a few of their videos. I won't play them here, by the way, but I watched a few of their videos earlier, and they're really kind of cutting edge. They have some good video companies they've contracted with. They're catchy. They're to the point. They're not bad videos. I would just like to see more customer stories and more about the industry, not necessarily just about their products. That's the only thing. So
yeah.
And this is like we said in the very beginning, and this is why I mentioned it. They're engineering and sales focused. That's why you don't have a lot of this stuff, because like the marketers of today that would be working on YouTube content would be saying what we're saying. They'd be saying, let's make it about the story. Let's make it about the customer. Let's make it about 3D printing. Let's make it about material sciences. It's not about carbon. It's about those topics. But I get the sense that they don't have a lot of that talent on their team, and they're still trying to figure it out. So you're seeing this on YouTube, especially.
Yeah, on their Instagram too, they have so much cool stuff to where like it's pretty much like a really well curated Pinterest page, but it's all their products is the thing. It's like,
yeah,
if you had a super sick Pinterest page or Pinterest board where it's all like the dopest 3D printing manufactured products, this would be it. It's so sick. They haven't posted since November. But yeah, all of this stuff is so cool. And if you got in the right community and you gave guest posts for other people that are in the design community, especially, all of their marketing assets feel very, very well designed. Like they have really, really nice. Even they have great photography. They have really good positioning on everything, and even the renders look so good.
Yeah, they look like photos.
Designed for.
Yeah, and you know what? I've been harping on the engineering, the sales focus, but I don't want to ignore their product and design here, because like you said, it's good. This stuff looks amazing. All their photos here are fantastic.
One thing, I wonder if Pinterest would work for them.
That's interesting.
Because all their products are so cool, and I wonder how Pinterest would work for them. Something like Pinterest, even Dribbble too for their renders. Testing out Dribbble, it's a very, very underutilized channel.
Yeah,
I think
interesting.
it'd be really, really cool. I always see, so Dribbble is like mostly a designer-based community, but people are always sharing products that they've helped design. And honestly, I would add this to my Dribbble account. Some of these
I like
designs.
that. I like that. And that could be, you know what? That could be an area that they're not exploring for lead generation yet.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like a backdoor bottom-up strategy, right? That's not the director of engineering for a manufacturing company, but it could make its way to that person if they do it right.
Yeah.
This all, by the way, is leading into something that I had on my mind when I first looked through this site, and I really want to talk about this as we do this teardown because I think it's an interesting one. I would love to have a way to get samples of materials that they've created with their 3D printers. And by that I mean if you're a prospect and you're thinking about working with them, but you don't know, you want to talk to their sales team, you're looking to learn more, but why don't we send you some foam inserts for shoes or some dental retainers or whatever that we've created with this. Let's get some case studies from customers, bring the product that customer creates into the case study, and physically send that prospect a piece of 3D printed material. That would be badass. And here's the kicker. It's such low cost to them because that's the whole point of their technology. They spend pennies on the materials. They get the customer to partner with them, and so they get the case study in there, and they spend a couple pennies on envelopes and stamps, and you can close the deal based on that. I think that's huge. I would love to see that.
That would be amazing. You could loop that into every single part of their physical strategy. Every trade show that they go to, that they have a conversation that's kind of died out, you literally just address match them, and then you send them a 3D printed version of their logo, or take a picture of the.
Yeah, that'd be so sick.
You send them a Adidas proprietary foam insert of their head. Dude, I love that though. I love that. That makes a lot more sense for them to do actually at scale. I think that's great.
And you know what they could do too is, if you have your personas down and you have your verticals, you could send them stuff in vertical, right? If you're a shoe company, let's send you an Adidas thing. As long as they don't infringe on the IP. If you're a dental company, let's send you fucking toothbrushes. It's such a tactile thing. Like the end result of their product is physical, which is awesome.
Yep.
So I would love to see that. Let's see. Those are the big ones actually. Let's check on time. About 9.5 minutes left. What else you got?
Let's take a look.
Yeah. Oh, while you're looking, I do have one thing, by the way, and this is about website structure. So I noticed when I dug into the materials section, which is linked in their main navigation, by the way, they have all these materials here, which are somewhat tied to industry of dental here. If you click on these, they have like detailed pages with mechanical properties, tensile strength, different examples of parts that can be made with it. All this stuff is fantastic. You know where it's not? It's not in their menu. I would love to see a mega menu under materials and under case studies, the segments by industry and the segments by material type.
Yep.
So there's one click away at any time. Someone hits their homepage, they go, oh, materials. They hover over, drop down. Oh, yeah, we do silicon. Let me go click on that. Oh, we do carbon. Let me go click on that. But right now, it's hidden. It's 2 clicks deep.
Yeah, totally.
Add that to the website notes.
Sweet. Carbon 3D print.
Materials and
whoa, have you checked their traffic coming from Reddit?
one sec. Material types and industries. Let me I'll check SimilarWeb on the referral.
Yeah, they have 33% of their social traffic comes from Reddit.
From Reddit, really? Oh, sorry, social. That's interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. I think the thing that people get wrong with Reddit almost all the time, and it's pretty well known, is just like the hey, they're fellow kids issue. If they were just very transparent of, hey, here's some cool shit, download our spec sheet, or do you want some free shit, type your address in here, and you could literally use the exact same case study strategy. And I would highly suggest making that a very, very small test at first, because I can see Redditors going in there and just blowing you up for thousands and thousands of dollars. Yeah, but finding the right channel and the right offer could be really cool for that, because a lot of these people in engineering subreddits are really highly technical, and they just hate bullshit. Their whole existence is just to kind of call people out for things.
Yeah.
Which
You post
made it
anything promotional, and they'll instantly just tell you to trash. They're like,
Yep.
"Oh yeah, downvoted. This is an ad."
Yep.
And you're like, oh, "Come on, guys. Like, I mean, come on."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think you're onto something there. I like the angle. I'm gonna add to social channels. And one thing that this kind of ties into their PR angle and all the money they just raised, I think they're starting to hit the inflection point, right? 500 employees, they got $1 million in the bank that they're trying to spend. They're starting to hit the point where just to get their name out there and reach as many technical people as possible is in their best interest. So yeah, maybe the person on Reddit isn't the one who's going to be buying your product, but they probably work on a team. If they're in the material sciences or 3D printing subreddit, they might know somebody. Even if you're a hobbyist at 3D printing, you're probably so interested, you might have talked to somebody at a bigger company just to figure out some stuff. 6 months ago, you have a conversation. 2 months later, you mentioned an article you read, it's passed along, boom. Now you're in front of a Fortune 500 company. And they're getting to the point of scale where that's really feasible because they can spend the money to get that kind of reach. So
it's something that strikes me that would be a really cool project for them to do, especially since they have a lot of cash right now. Do you remember what Magpul did with their Ronin bikes? So Magpul is a tactical gear company. They make magazines. They make stocks for rifles. But what they did is they created this really, really cool motorcycle out of an old Buell. And it looks like the most futuristic motorcycle you've ever seen. But it was a massive campaign for Magpul that was really, really successful. And it's essentially a top-of-the-funnel strategy that is so top of the funnel, it's not even really about their core business. It's not even really about like a tangential business at all. It's pretty much, hey, we're the greatest engineers in the world for physical products. Come check us out. So this has absolutely zero to do with their true business, which is tactical accessories, but has got them so much attention. What they did is they manufactured a couple of these motorcycles and then had artists all over the Denver community make really, really cool designs on top of them. So you reach kind of a dual set of audience members there that maybe necessarily weren't exactly their target audience, but did a really, really, really wide stroke of getting people interested in what their true product was.
Yeah. No, I love that. This is like a Batman bike.
Yeah.
Like this is so sick looking.
Some bad guy stuff is definitely going to have another thing.
Yeah. Someone over here said, "Lord Vader, your motorcycle is ready."
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna actually. I love that. I'm gonna distill it down a little bit into a few other elements, which is build products like side projects and spin-off ideas. That's not really a very eloquent way of saying that, but I think what I'm getting at is that they have all this engineering talent, they have all this design talent, product talent. It's the equivalent of a software company saying, hey, let's take HubSpot, for example. HubSpot built a website grader tool that allows you to analyze your website, tells you a bunch of stuff that's wrong with it. And then tangentially, anyone who's using the tool, it's a great candidate for buying HubSpot software. So that was it's a separate product, but it's effectively lead gen for their core business. And I think the whole idea here is that they could do something similar, but on the physical product side instead of on the software side, like what Magpul did with that motorcycle. They have all this design talent. They have all this manufacturing talent. They have freaking 3D printers in their warehouses because that's what they do. Like they could spin up some CAD designs about something really awesome that ties into their target personas. And they could sell that, they could build it, they could send it to people, they could auction it off, they could give it to charity, whatever. But they have the talent to do that. And I think that'd be worth it. You're totally right.
The last thing that I see that just stands out all over their website is a lot of their graphics are video or motion graphic. It's all really interesting stuff. At the very least, it's extremely visually pleasing. They should look at some media buys for pre-roll, YouTube, Vimeo, Hulu, anything in that vein. And they could use Brandzuka, which is a self-serve video platform. It's pretty much Google Ads for anything pre-roll outside of just kind of your de jour marketing stack. And what you do is you could just test a couple of channels across job titles and interests and just see if it's worth thinking about putting a larger play in there.
Yeah, I like that. It's also, video generally is much cheaper to run. Ironically, it's so hard, it's so expensive to create video, but it's so cheap to advertise it relative to clicks, for example. Like you
Yep.
can get a video view that's 90% completion for 5 cents if your video is really good and your targeting's right. And a click for that same audience might be $5 on, a core bottom of the funnel business to business keyword. So yeah, it's a way to get their dollars to stretch. Although it's weird how that works out. I guess the barrier to entry is that people just don't understand video advertising as much. So
Yeah, I mean, think about the amount of technical talent it takes to produce a video versus the amount of technical talent it takes to write a Google ad.
Yeah, true. Although you should invest more in your Google ad talent team. So, as two people who run Google ads, it's worth hiring the experts. Just saying. Cool. So checking the timer, we're at about 1 minute 20 seconds. You want to jump into some next steps and our recommendations on this teardown?
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to say right now, I think the first thing they need to do is get those call to actions for lead gen on their website and get some kind of chat software up. I think that is the most important thing. They've got 200,000 people per month visiting their site. Let's leverage the hell out of it and start generating leads. Right after that, I honestly think they're probably doing some form of maybe 70-80% of what we talked about for channels. I'd just like to see their content to switch from being all about me, all about them, and switching to all about the customer, and then amplifying that with ads on everything. Let's get those video ads going. Let's get LinkedIn ads going. Let's get, that's our social content. That's everything. And honestly, I think between those two things, those are core. Like that takes them to double in growth from where they're at right now.
Yep. Yeah, I really like if we could only pick one thing out of the non-traditional digital marketing elements, I would definitely choose some of that lead capture being sending physical products and then also sending physical products as follow-up from trade shows as well.
Yes, that actually, to be honest, I was so excited by that idea. There's a timer. I was so excited by that idea. It's just such a cool thing. Like if you actually got a 3D printed shoe insert and you're like, damn, we need to talk. Like, give me the sales guy's number. Forget about giving them my number. Like, give me the number. I'm going to call them up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, sweet. Well, I think that was a pretty good breakdown. We've got some good notes on strategy here. We're gonna throw this up. We're gonna throw this up on YouTube. We'll throw a shortened version up on LinkedIn, and we'll put these notes, this Google Doc, in the link in the description below. If you're watching this right now, it's down below. You can go check it out. Give us a like if you liked it. Comment on it if you thought we sucked and you want to see something change, or if you want to see us tear down a different company, comment on that. We'll check it out. Pluggables, ads for ourselves, things we want to tell you to go do. Check me out, andrewishimaru.com, and I've got a marketing agency called Optimotive. What about you, Travis?
Check me out on LinkedIn. I'm partner at a company called Cinebody, which is user-generated content, but you're able to direct your following. So check us out, cinebody.com. Where we're at.
Sweet. Cinebody's a badass company, by the way. Even if you're not going to buy their software, go look at what they do. It's fucking awesome. All right, we'll call it good. Peace out, guys.
Thanks so much, guys. Until next time.